I'm Deep Mahaman, and you're watching the Redmen TV.
I was very critical of Sakho, and then a load of people jumped to his defence, and then a load of people jumped on their heads and stamped on them. Sakho, for me, was just had another fucking really bad game. But here's a mad one. I've pulled up some stats on this one, Chris, because I think the consensus is Lovren was our best defender on the day. He was probably the one that I think I gave him a 7, and I think a lot of people said he probably was our 8 or maybe even 9 out of 10 performer. And it's crazy again how, and this is the perfect example of how stats are nothing compared to what is it you call it, like the eyeball test. So Sakho misplaced just 4 passes on the day. He completed 17 of 19 clearances, won 5 of 6 aerial duels. All of those stats much better than Dejan Lovren. Lovren misplaced about 6 or 8 passes.
58 of 66 or something like that.
Something
I think Lovren
like
wasn't
that. And Lovren committed more fouls as well than Sakho. And yeah, so if you were to look at the stats, because I saw a couple of people going, look at the stats of Sakho, he was great. It's like, but watch the game. It was another example of a match where he just looks out of sorts with himself, and he looks like a fucking liability. And there's a couple of times a game where he gets tangled up in his own legs and he causes problems.
So what was it? How did you describe him last week?
We
were sat at Watford and Paul coined this for a belter of a phrase.
He's basically a human pretzel. That's his legs. Yeah, his feet are somewhere around here. I don't understand it at times. But
you know, like it's mad because I went onto the LFC website and watched all the highlights and stuff after the game, and they did a 2-minute package just on Lovren, and like it was like a full YouTube best bits, 2 minutes of everything that Lovren did during the game, and you watch it back and you go, what? Some stuff there I didn't really notice during the game, and like you're looking at it going, he's just doing the simple things right. He's bringing the ball down, he's playing 5-yard passes, you know, he's challenging, yeah, he's making a few fouls and stuff like that, but they're actually in important areas of the field sometimes, and Lovren's just, he's stepping up at the moment, and I think you can tell by the way Jurgen Klopp goes over to him at the end of the game, has a little chat with him, has a little laugh and a joke while they're clapping the fans off and stuff like that, and you're like, Lovren's becoming an important part of this team. Sakho, on the other hand, you're exactly right. I mean, you can look at the stats and say what you want. You know, he is making important clearances and stuff, but it's what you feel when you're watching the game. It's like Simon Mignolet. If you watch Simon Mignolet on Match of the Day, you'll see from this performance against Leicester, you're going to see 2 good saves. Yeah. And that's it.
Simon Mignolet's got...
Match of the Day don't show goal kicks.
Simon Mignolet's got 15 clean sheets in this calendar year, which is more than any other goalkeeper in the Premier League.
Yeah.
It's bullshit, like.
Well, any fan of another team will go, well, Simon Mignolet must be one of the top keepers in the league.
Yeah, he's not.
But he's not. You can only tell when you're there watching somebody.
Yeah. And like I said, this is the thing about, again, for Sakho, like by this time next week, he'll probably be fine. But it's just that thing of like taking 2 or 3 games to get up to speed. And we see, look, it happens in all positions. You know, like a striker might not quite have his eye for goal yet and what have you. But in terms of defenders, I've never known a centre-half who takes that long to warm back into being a professional footballer. Like, you know what I mean? He looked, you know what, to be fair, the first 5 minutes he looked injured. There was one moment where he was trying to he fucked something up and he had to run back, and he looked like he was labouring, like he was like carrying himself basically. I was like, maybe he is, maybe he's not right, maybe he has just put himself back in for selection and he's playing through the pain barrier or whatever, which could be one thing on it. But question, because you were bringing this up the other week, and I guess it's kind of an evolution of a point you were making. Is Dejan Lovren the best centre-back at the club at the minute?
At the minute, yeah, I think so, and I'm not sure whether...
Even if Skrtel was fit?
Even if Skrtel was fit, yeah, I think so. And it's not really sort of based on his abilities and what he does with it, but the system seems to suit him more than any of the others. You know, what's being asked of him is natural to his game. Like we were talking before about Simon Mignolet, weren't we, coming for crosses. It's unnatural to him. He looks uncomfortable doing it. Dejan Lovren nipping in front of someone to try and win the ball back. That's Dejan Lovren's game. Yeah. That's what he enjoys doing. You can see that he's relishing that side of it. I think with the 2 defensive midfielders, which is what he played with at Southampton, he looks a lot more comfortable than any of the other centre-backs. I think Martin Skrtel, I don't know whether Martin Skrtel's been bad, to be honest with you. I just think the other centre-back has always looked better. Yeah. Whoever that be, whether it be Lovren or Sakho.
Particularly under Klopp.
particularly, yeah, well, that's under Klopp, sorry, is what I'm talking about, yeah. And Sakho hasn't been right under Klopp because he's not had enough game time. He's obviously coming back from an injury now. I've got confidence that Sakho's going to be a good player for Liverpool. And I actually look at the two of them and think, well, if Lovren can sew that right side up, that could be our centre-back partnership. I don't know.
It's a weird one because there was a guy who messaged me saying, like, because he was obviously at the game, and he was saying now, like, they never felt that. They never felt any unease at Sakho. And maybe he was just around a particularly unvocal selection because there's always someone having a moan about Sakho at Anfield, and maybe it is just that thing of when you're soaked up in the atmosphere and you don't really feel the nerves, you go along with what the general feeling of the crowd is, I guess. Whereas I think when you're taking a step back and watching it through a lens, your temptation is to just kind of like it's to have your heart in your mouth a little bit more, maybe, I don't know. But it's 2 games now on the bounce where Sakho's just looked. I hate that I have to keep qualifying this because I really like Sakho. I genuinely think that prior to Lovren's recent spell of form, I thought there was no question that Sakho was our best centre-half, our most valuable centre-half, and the one with the highest ceiling in terms of his potential of what he can do in the game. And I still contend that that's true. But at the minute, I'm just too nervy. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just too nervous watching football at the minute. Like, but my heart struggles to take it when he does his mad Dalshin bendy leg shit, and I've no idea whether he's going to play the ball to the defensive midfielder or whether he's going to fucking pirouette around the guy in front of him, or whether he's going to fall over and give it away. It
says to me that man would be perfect for penalties because he doesn't know what way he's passing the ball till half a centimetre before his foot gets there.
Literally.
And he would stand there, he could give you the fucking eyes all you want and his legs would give you the legs. And then you dive and he'd guarantee to score every single penalty. Like,
ankles like Steven Seagal's hands.
Honest to God, like Chun-Li fucking legs.
Absolutely. Yeah, so it's a weird one because, like I say, it's a mad position to be in, and as if you just looked at it purely based on stats, then Sakho looks like our best centre-half by an absolute country mile, whereas what I'm seeing with my own eyes is that I can't, like, Dejan Lovren still has his moments, but he looks our most relaxed.
He seems to work, Sakho, when he's got the ball at his feet, seems to work on fine margins, doesn't he? You know, when he makes the passes,